Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, The Influence of the Spirits in Our Lives. I'm Agatha Correia, and I will be your host for today. Our event is just about to start, so stay with us. If you have any questions, please type your questions in the question pane on the control panel. So see you in a bit.
Sing this song along with me. Just open up your hearts. Feel harmony and peace inside yourself. Life is a great school, teaching always to do good. Learning that in order to be happy we need to help. Learning to accept that everyone deserves respect. Uniting all their hearts with a gesture of affection. Finding our happiness will be spreading joy. There is no other way. Charity is the solution. Only one love, only one ideal. So in love and peace in the world, conquer us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear, and the world will be in peace. Sing this song along with me. Just open up your hearts. Feel harmony and peace inside yourself. Life is a great school, teaching always to do good. Learning that in order to be happy we need to help. Learning to accept that everyone deserves respect. Uniting all their hearts with a gesture of affection. Finding our happiness will be spreading joy. There is no other way. Charity is the solution. Only one love, only one ideal. So in love and peace in the world, conquer us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear, and the world will be in peace. Only one love, only love ideal. So in love and peace in the world, conquer us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear, and the world will be in peace.
Hi, everyone. Once again, I'm Agatha Correia. I'll be with you through this entire webinar. Before everything, a quick reminder that if you, for some reason, leave this room, you can always return here through the link that was sent to your email address. So if you have any difficulties with the audio, please feel free to leave your message in the chat of this meeting. So we'll go on with our program with more joyful music.
Come on, my friend, come to the light. And with our heart and soul, let's follow Jesus Christ. Let us preach the peace, let us preach the love. In this world, our wedding wonderful will be much more. bloom with sunshine. Let us hold our hands and be together on this road. Imitate peace and love and spread it to the world. Good vibes, laughter, and shout outs. So into the world, always follow the footsteps of our Lord. All roads that I shall walk on. Sowing seeds of peace, these lights that keep shining. Brighter, brighter, home. We'll be brighter, brighter, home. We'll be brighter, brighter, home.
Yeah, that was great. Once again, welcome back everyone to our webinar. I'm Agatha Correia. And now, without further ado, I know you all been expecting for this moment. Let's begin with the webinar's main topic, the influence of spirits in our life, by sharing knowledge and experiences through the lens of Spiritist doctrine. And for starters, we invite our friend Peter Otao. He comes from Kenya and he wants to greet all of us. Peter, are you with us? I think he is. Let's just wait a minute until we solve this small technical issue. I believe is the mic that is not on. Peter? Is it still there?
Hello everyone and good afternoon. Thank you, Agatha. We are here to wish you all an excellent moment of reflection on the topic influence of spirits in our life, which will be approached in the light of the Spirit's doctrine. May this topic contribute to our better understanding of our life. And we wish you all much peace.
Yes, that was great. Thank you so much, Peter, for your warm, welcoming message. So the moment that follows will be dedicated, of course, to our prayer. Dear friends, let us prepare for this moment of harmony with a friendly spirituality supporting this gathering. A prayer is an appeal that allows a person to enter in communion with God, Jesus, and the higher spirits in order to receive protection and help. The more fervent and sincere the prayer is, the greater its power. As in all our activities, let us now unite our hearts at this time. We now invite Vivian from Kenya to lead us to tune in with the positive energies that abound from the higher spheres. Vivian.
Hello guys, I'm Vivian from Kenya. I'll make the initial prayer before we start our webinar. Let's bow down for a word of prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, I come unto you this hour, giving you thanks for the gift of life and making it possible for us to meet here for this webinar. As we are going to start this webinar today, we ask your presence, Father Lord, and we also ask that may you prepare our soul and our mind for these teachings, Father Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, so be it.
Our thanks to Vivian for this wonderful prayer. The following moments will be dedicated to our central topic. Let's turn our time now to Frederico Dionisio, our next presenter. Frederico comes from Angola and will present us the influence of the spirits in our life, for which we thank you so much for your special attention. Before Frederico starts, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your Zoom control panel. Our team will try to answer all of your questions, and so will Frederico by the end of the presentation. We will try as much as we can to answer all of your questions. So now, let's dive into the central topic. See you in a while.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So my name is Frederico Dionisio. I'm from Luanda, Angola. And as Agatha already said, thank you, Agatha, we are going to talk about the influence of the spirits on our life, on our daily lives, on our thoughts, on our behaviors. So I would like to ask to our Zoom host to share the screen with our presentation so that we can continue with the thoughts, with the ideas of the Spiritist doctrine, because it's through the lens of the Spiritist doctrine that we are going to study, we're going to reflect upon this topic. Yes, so there it is. Influence of the spirits in our life. Okay, let's jump in for the next slide, where we have from the Medium's book, Allan Kardec, which is the coder of the Spiritist doctrine. And he says that whatever the idea one has of the spirits, believing in them is necessarily based on the existence of an intelligent principle outside of matter. So the Spiritist doctrine truly believes in the existence of spirits, okay? And we do know in our African culture, we do know that spirits exist. At least we talk of them. In our familiar reunions, when we were kids listening to our fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers, we hear or we have listened to histories about spirits, about our ancestors, who in some occasions they came to talk with someone, warning them for something that would happen, or simply they just appear to someone and they disappear. So we do know that spirits exist, but we don't know clearly what it is. And Allan Kardec, he continues to say that we take, therefore, as a starting point, the existence, survival, and individuality of the soul, which have in spiritualism their theoretical and dogmatic demonstration, and in Spiritism, the positive demonstration. So Spiritism has the responsibility of bringing this knowledge to us on a very clear, on a very logical way, okay? So for us, spirits, and when I say for us, I mean for those that believe in the Spiritist doctrine, spirits, they do exist, okay? As something positive, as something real, okay? So let's see the next slide so that we continue our thoughts, our reflection, okay? So are there spirits? And we are going to see in the Spirits book, which is the first book of the Spiritist doctrine, Allan Kardec, he made two questions, question number 76 and question number 149. Are there spirits, and how are they defined? And Allan Kardec asked, what definition can you give of spirits? And I mean, Allan Kardec was asking to the spirits, because the Spiritist doctrine is a doctrine that was revealed to human being from the spirits. So they brought us all this knowledge. And the spirits, they said, it can be said that spirits are intelligent beings of creation, populated the universe outside the material world. So they are intelligent, they are part of nature, they are creations of God, but they are outside the material world. That's why it's not possible for everyone to see them. Okay, so we know that there are some people that can see them. Okay, so those we call them mediums. And on the question 149, Allan Kardec asked, what happens to the soul at the moment of death? So the soul returns to being a spirit, that is, returns to the world of the spirits from which you had momentarily departed. So we are spirits, but we are on a physical body, okay? So Allan Kardec, with the answer that he received from the spirits, he understood that there are two humanities, so to speak. So we have the physical humanity, which we now know that are spirits in the physical body, and we have the unseen humanity, which are the spirits outside the material world, outside the physical body.
I'm busy.
How do they get there? As soon as the body dies, the spirit becomes free, enters the world of spirits. Okay, so we all are spirits. The only difference is that some of us are in the physical world, in the body, in the physical body, and some of us are in the spirit, but the souls of men striped of the corporeal envelope. Okay, so this is in the Medium's book, chapter 1, page 22. Let's go for the next slide. Okay, please, Pupa. Okay, the spirit is not therefore an abstract, an undefined being or an indefinite being, which only thought can conceive. It is real, okay, defined, and that in some cases can be recognized, evaluated by the senses of sight, hearing, and touch. Being the souls of those who live here on earth, they carry with them the characteristics they developed while they were in the physical body. So they are naturally different from each other, as are the incarnates as well as between us, linked to the law of progress. Okay, so as we said before, there are really two humanities, one that we can see and the other that we cannot see. Okay, so they are not, the spirits, they are not an abstract concept, a philosophical concept. The Spiritist doctrine brought us the knowledge that the spirits, they do exist. Okay, so they are well defined. That is why we know from our culture, not only our culture, every society, every culture has this knowledge, has this type of experience, that someone has seen one of our ancestors. Okay, and we do know that there is a relation, a correlation in between the ones that already are in the spiritual world and the ones that are in the physical world. So they are not totally separated from each other. Okay, so this is the interesting part. So we now know that spirits, or no, well, for me, it is something positive, but for those that are getting in touch with this knowledge from the first time, I think we now can accept the idea that the spirits, they might exist. Okay, so let's see the next slide. Influence of the spirits. Okay, so we do know that the spirits exist. We do know that the spirit is something well defined, that some mediums, in some cases, they can define it, they can describe it with details. Okay, so they can identify who the spirit is, or who was he or she in the past life while he was in the physical body. Okay, so do the spirits see everything we do? If they are a parallel humanity, can they see us? Yes, they can. That's why that is what the spirits answered, since they constantly surround you. Okay, so this is another thing very interesting. They constantly surround you. So as we are speaking now, we are surrounded by spirits. So who has the ability to see them? Probably some of us, okay? Probably some of us. Let's talk about that later. Do spirits influence our thoughts and actions? This is another question 459. Much more than you can imagine. Influence such point, which of ordinary, it is they who direct you. Okay, so now things starts to get a little bit complicated. So the spirits are telling us that in ordinary, they are the ones who are directing us. How does this work? Okay, let's see the next slide. Okay, good spirits represent divine providence, with the incarnate protecting and inspiring them so that they can seize the opportunities for moral progress. The bad or inferior spirits, who are so by personal choice, on the contrary, they seek to induce the incarnate, which means incarnate are the ones that are in the physical body, to error for the most diverse reasons. Okay, so we now have a good picture. We will go back, but moving to the next slide. Not now, Pupa, not now, just a second. We will see that last question from Allan Kardec, okay? But what we are trying to create here is the picture that there are good spirits. And what does this mean? There are laws created by God, okay? So we have the free will. We may choose what to do. That's something God gave to us, the free will. When we do things accordingly to the laws of God, accordingly to the laws of nature, and in this case, through the eyes of the Spiritist doctrine, according to the principle, to the moral principles of Jesus Christ, we are being good spirits, okay? We are doing something that is tuned with the laws of God. When we choose to make things that are not tuned with the laws of God, we are by personal choice doing something that is contrary to the laws of nature, to the laws of God, okay? So as we do that in the physical world, and adding to this, the fact that the spirits, when they return to the spiritual world, or when we return to the spiritual world, we don't change, okay? We will continue to be exactly what we are, or exactly what we will be at the moment of our death, okay? So our choices, our thoughts, what we like, what we dislike, who do we like, or who do we dislike, it's going to be with us. It's not going to change magically, okay? So we will continue to be exactly what we are at the moment of death. And by saying that, we are building the idea that there are good spirits and there are bad spirits. There are spirits that like to do bad things, to harm people, okay? And we do have to agree, there is people that likes to harm people, okay, intentionally. So they are not going to change when they die. They will continue to be exactly what they were in the physical world. Let's see the next slide and marry all this information. Okay, how do we distinguish the good spirits only advise for good? It is up to us to discern. And then we have another question from Allan Kardec. Why does God allow spirits to lure us to evil? Okay. And the spirits, they said, imperfect spirits are proper instruments to test the faith and perseverance of man in the practice of good. So God wants us to practice the good things. Okay. And if we think that we are already good, then the bad spirits, or those that like to do bad things, they will test us, okay? As the spirit that you are, you have to progress in the science of the infinite. Hence, you pass through the trials of evil to arrive at good. Our mission is to put you on the right path. Since evil influences act upon you, you attract them, desiring evil. So this last sentence, since evil influences act upon you, you attract them, desiring evil. Okay, let's go back a little bit and bring back the knowledge or the idea that no, Pupa, no need, don't need to move back on slides. Just here, okay? So we have our thoughts, we have our likes, and we have our dislikes. Correct? The spirits that are not in the physical world, they also have the same characteristics. They have their dislikes and they have things that they like. And we have to agree that as human beings, as spirits, we sometimes, or not sometimes, it is a law, we stick together guided by the laws of affinity. And what does this mean? What I like, if it's the same that you like, then we are going to have something in common, okay? There is something that bonds us, okay? You're getting the idea, correct? So let's see the next slide to make it clearer. Okay, the example is of the radio that we have. And in the book Obsession, Disobsession from Sueli Calder-Schubert, she says that the radio is designed so that according to the way we change the station in the radio selector, we start to tune into the wave referring to the station we want in the tangle of waves existing in space. And one thing that we do know, and the spirits, they told us that through the Spiritist doctrine teachings, is that our thoughts, they don't get imprisoned only in our heads. Our thoughts, they are electromagnetic waves that travel through space around us. So if my thoughts, they travel through space, that means everyone's thoughts travels also through space. And when we say thoughts, we want to add to that feelings, everything that is a characteristic of the spirit has the capability of travel through space and influence others. So let's speak in the example of Sueli Calder-Schubert of the radio. If we are tuned, and when we say if we are tuned, we are referring to our dislikes and our likes. So what we are as person, as a spirit, will create an electromagnetic wave of a particular characteristic. And that wave will be or will create something like a station from a radio station, okay? And those that are in the same frequency, or those spirits that are in the same wave, in the same, how can I put this? They like the same things, okay? So they will get tuned to that. So this is the principle that rules the world of the influence of the spirits in between them, incarnated ones, discarnated ones. Okay, so we are influenced not only by those that are incarnated, but also by those that are discarnated, that are not in the physical world. Let's move in. Let's move on. Okay. Our time is getting short and I'm already receiving some messages to speed up things, because I think the main idea is really this one. So influence of the spirits in our life. The spiritual influence is a natural process that depends on the law of attraction, attunement, affinity. We are saying the same thing, okay? With what kind of thoughts, habits, emotions, feelings, attitudes, actions, and vices do we get along? So we have to analyze ourselves. This is the time of self-reflection, okay? We have to study ourselves in order to see, in order to understand where is our radio station, what is our frequency? Is in the good side or is it in the bad side, okay? So if it is in the good side, we know that the probability of having good spirits influencing us is greater, okay? Let's move on, please, Pupa. So in the face of the spiritual influence, self-knowledge and inner transformation is the key, okay? Do what I did when I lived on earth. This is Saint Augustine in the Spirit's book. At the end of the day, I would question my conscience, review what I had done, and ask myself if I had not failed in some duty, if no one had any reason to complain about me. Okay, guys, screenshot this slide for you guys, because this is really, really important. That's how I got to know myself and see what in me needed reform, needed to be changed, okay, in order to become better, to become tuned with the laws of God. Next slide, please. So, study of the Spiritist doctrine. Sorry for the title. It was indeed, we will not achieve true liberation without abolishing the bondage of ignorance in the realm of the spirit. Anyone who aspires to treasure the values of their own intimate emancipation ahead of the universe and life should and needs to study. So we are talking about the Spiritist doctrine. We are talking about spirits. We're talking about laws of God. One thing truly important is we need to study. So Spiritist doctrine is a doctrine which demands study, okay? And believe me, we will need to study it. Move on, Pupa, please. Habit of prayer, another very important tool that we have on our reach. Through prayer, man obtains the assistance of good spirits who come to support him in his good resolutions and to inspire him with sane ideas. In this way, he acquires the moral strength necessary to overcome difficulties and return to the straight path if he strayed from it, okay? So prayer, my friends, we do have prayer as a tool in order to get help from God, from the good spirits. Let's use prayer in our own benefit, okay? Move on, please. Yeah, charity, which is love in action. So if we want to get tuned with the laws of God, yeah, that's another way to do it. So we have prayer, we have study, and then we have charity, which will be those three principles will create a tripod. I think the idea of a tripod is a good one. We will have three main pillars that we know they guarantee to us a safe position to start. Okay, so we do have to have this in mind. Okay, prayer, study, and charity. Action. Let us love one another and do to others what we would have them to do to us. So this is the Jesus Christ principle. Every religion, every morality is contained in these two precepts. If they were observed in this world, you would all be happy. There would be no more hatred or resentment. So this is Allan Kardec in the Gospel according to Spiritism. Next slide, please. Yes, let brotherly love continue. This is Paul in the book of Hebrews. Okay, 13:1. Pure fraternity is the most sublime of the systems of relationships between souls. By the Spirit Emmanuel, from the mediumship of Chico Xavier in the book Our Daily Bread. Okay, so spirits, for the Spiritist doctrine, they do exist. They are a very well-defined entity that interacts with the physical world. So how do we interact with them, and how do we prepare ourselves in order to become or to have good influence from the spirits in the spiritual world. So this is the route, I think, that we can choose to search, and we can choose to walk. Okay, so study, prayer, charity. Okay, so these three principles are going to be with us for a very, very long time. So I thank you once again for this short time. I don't know if I have exceeded too much, but we now are going for our questions and answers. Please, guys. Agatha, it's with you. I don't know if there is any question. I don't know, please.
Well, as far as I've seen in our chat box, everyone was so absorbed with your lecture that there was no questions left to write down. Anyways, thank you, Frederico, for this wonderful explanation. I believe we wanted some more, but the time is really short, as you already stated. There was a lot of learning, a lot of take-in. It was great, thank you. So it's time to move on with our program. We are happy to invite you to a very special moment, the confraternization. You might be new to this concept, so I will invite Michelle Ventura from South Africa to guide us through this moment. Michelle, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, friends. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Michelle Ventura, and I'm from Johannesburg in South Africa. And it's with great joy that I'm here with you guys today to explain the purpose of the Spiritist doctrine as defined by Allan Kardec. It's defined by himself. It's the study of relations between the spiritual world and the corporeal one. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so Spiritism started in the 19th century by the French educator Hippolyte Léon Denisard Rivière, who is actually under the pen name of Allan Kardec. So once you start studying Spiritism or Spiritism, you will get very familiar with the name of Allan Kardec. He's published books on the nature, origin, and destiny of spirits and their relation with the corporeal world. Spiritism is simultaneously a science of observation, a philosophical doctrine, and a body of moral principles. Next slide, Poopa. So how does Allan Kardec derive and categorize this information? So Allan Kardec has utilized his science and mathematical background to gather data points from as many different locations as possible. So if the spirits who have revealed it had manifested only from one person, nothing could guarantee its origin, for it would be necessary to believe the word of whoever stated it or whoever the person is that received their teaching. Next slide, Poopa. The only true guarantee for the spiritual teachings is the overall agreement amongst revelations that's made spontaneously through a large number of mediums unknown to one another in several different places. Okay, next slide, Poopa. So when it comes to any spiritist practice, you must remember it is always free of charge because it is God's work that is being done. And also there is a big misconception when it comes to spiritism where people believe that it's got witchcraft involved or some sort of magic, and it's nothing like that, which you will learn when you join us, when you do the basic notions. Of course, you'll actually start to experience and start to understand and create an understanding, and you'll see what spiritism is all about. The Spiritist doctrine is logical thinking derived from its scientific aspect. The Spiritist doctrine is comfort as a direct consequence of understanding and application of its moral principles. Okay. A perfect guide and moral to be followed. As they say, for man, Jesus represents the kind of moral perfection that humanity can aspire to on earth. Okay. Next slide, Pupa. I think we can stop it there. So we would like to obviously invite you all to participate in our Basic Notions of Spiritism course. It's starting on the 5th of March. I myself have done a couple of the courses. I started with the Basic Notions of Spiritism course. The Basic Notions course is a really great way for you if you would like to learn about Spiritism, you would like to know it. And the wonderful thing about it is it's accepting of all religions. So you must remember, Spiritism is not a religion, it's a teaching, and it unites everybody of different religions, different backgrounds, different countries, as we can see. And I've personally taken a lot of comfort from my learnings from the courses that I've done. I've taken a lot of comfort in knowing, you know, one day when I do disincarnate and leave my body here, there is bigger and more wonderful things waiting for me. I no longer have a fear of death. I have an understanding of it. So I really hope that you will join us on the course starting on the 5th of March. And if you do have any questions, we will take any questions in your chat now. You guys are also welcome to quickly unmute yourselves if you'd like to ask a question. We've got the panel, everybody here ready to answer any of your questions.
Agatha, your microphone.
I was all carried away with Michelle's Ventura presentation. It was short but wonderful. I also have taken basic notions some years ago, I must say, but it's a very good Kickstarter for someone that is just curious or really wants to deepen their spiritual knowledge according to the Spiritist doctrine. And as Michelle said it, and it's very important, the Spiritist doctrine is not a religion, it's a triad of philosophy with a scientific method to its findings, and also with moral consequences due to its gospel base. So I encourage everyone that knows someone or is himself interesting or curious to know more about the spiritual life to come and sign in to Basic Notions course. I think you won't regret, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I would like to add also, sorry for cutting you,
Yeah,
Agatha.
go ahead.
I would like to add that if you want to join us on the Basic Notions course, please leave your contact on the chat, okay? On the Zoom chat, your contact, your WhatsApp contact, your email, and we will make contact with you, sending you all the informations that you will need to join us on the Basic Notions course, okay? I would also like to call a person here, our friend, Salam Alaikum. Where is Ibrahim Achille?
Walaikum assalam. Walaikum assalam.
My friend, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How you doing?
Yeah, we are very, very good friends. So,
nice to see you.
Ibrahim, give us your testimony on the Basic Notions course, please.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I think sometimes June, July last year, I was part of the Basic Notion classes, and to be very candid, it was a wonderful experience. Although from the beginning, I was a bit curious and enthusiastic, you know, with more especially with the concept of spiritism. You know, there's a very different perception when people hear the concept of spiritism. It's all about occultic practices or magic or, you know, diabolical. So at the first time, I was expecting to see some kind of strange practices and beliefs, but glory be to God, I had a better a better understanding, and it makes me a better person somehow, because you know, coming from the religious angle, you have a lot of questions unanswered, and there are also fear. There are certain things you don't believe in. But with the concept of the spiritism, I understand the basic knowledge of reincarnation, you know, death, responsibility of man in creation, and at least it draw a sense of consciousness, you know, more especially during prayer. I now realize that I'm not alone. You know, there are other beautiful spirits that attract to me, or bad ones, or impure ones, depends on my state of disposition. So it was a wonderful experience, and I urge any other individuals who should take opportunity of this course to enlighten and liberate you from so many religious shackles, and you know, so it's a privilege. I appreciate that so much. Nagode. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ibrahim.
Thank you.
I can feel in your words, your kind words, okay, what you've just said about the basic notions course. Of
Yeah.
course, as Federico mentioned, is for the different backgrounds, wherever you are coming from. The most important thing is we just want to share this doctrine that has enlightened us in our personal life to change ourselves, to change the things around us, where the change begins inside us. Okay.
Yeah.
And as Ibrahim mentioned, it starts by giving you the self-consciousness of why certain things happen in our life. So we bring the logic to the religious part and the moral part that we already know, but now we have a logic to make us understand why some things happen somewhere, okay? And the first one that usually everybody wants to know is why we live if we need to die, right? And after understanding the need for reincarnation as a part of our evolutionary process, we understand that it's a journey that we are all have to go through, and that we mustn't forget that it's a journey that we're doing together. So we have our own personal responsibility, but we also have responsibility as a group. And sometimes this responsibility as group is to help the person around us to get this information, this knowledge, but also to help them during their incarnated life to the trials or atonements that we all have to go through in order to spiritually and morally evolve.
Thank you.
That's right. Thank you, Pupa. I don't know if we still have time, but we have a question on the chat.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
Sure.
Miss
I'm going to read it.
I have it here. I can read it. No problem.
Okay, sure.
So I was going to ask for people to write down on the chat, where are you from? Which country are you? Please, we would like to know that. So Miss Ellen M, she asks, does Spiritism include learning, mediumship, and communication with non-physical beings? Yes, at a certain point of the study of the Spiritism, we do actually do that. So when we talk about mediumship, we're talking about something that is natural on the human being, okay? We all are mediums. So there is a tool that needs to be learned on how to use. So Spiritism and Allan Kardec dedicated a lot of time on the studying of mediumship and how to use it, okay? So the principles of affinity, the principles of attunement, or to be tuned with the good actions, with the good vibrations, that is all related to how we are going to use our mediumship, okay? But yes, there is something we will study, we will practice, but not online, okay? So the Basic Notions course is going to be online, and then we will continue our study online. It will only be possible to do it theoretically, okay? So on the physical Spiritist Center facility, yes, that is something that truly happens. Okay.
Just Frederico.
Okay, so we have Wamaita, which is from Kenya. Thank you. So we now have 3. So we have Peter Otao. Peter, say hi. Come on.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Hello. Good to see you, Pupa. Federico.
So Peter is another student from the Basic Notions course. Peter, please say something for us.
I hope I'm clear, right? All right. It has been a good journey as we study together. A lot of information, very insightful, and I've really learned a lot. I've been able to change a lot of things, and in terms of a perception, or rather how I view life, how I view challenges, and relating with neighbors, friends, and everyone around me. It's really a good journey being able to learn this spirit's doctrine. It's a good one, and I can attest that I'm a changed man. I'm a changed man, and I keep learning a lot. And for today, it's a good conversation. Looking forward for more. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, my
Thank you,
friend.
Peter.
Agatha, I'm not going to take you more time, okay?
Okay, so we'll go on with our program, which is running short, but still we have an artistic moment coming up next. So let's keep on with our event.
Amen.
What wonderful young voices we have here. Our thanks to Esther and Judith that gave us this beautiful, sublime moment. What a wonderful presentation. Also, thanks to Michelle Ventura for her presentation and for extending us this amazing invitation to yet another course of basic notions of the Spiritist doctrine. So, we are now heading towards the end of this amazing event, which we hope was able to answer your questions around such a complex topic. We started by asking for the support of friendly spirituality. And so we will wrap up this event with this immense feeling of gratitude for everything we have experienced today. We now invite our dear friend Ibrahim Ashili. He has already been here with us. He's still here with us. He comes from Nigeria. And I'll invite him in to give thanks and to lead the closing prayer. Ibrahim, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Agatha. Pendula Africa. I like this song. Thank you very much. I'm from Nigeria. My name is Ibrahim Sani Al-Hassan, Chile. I want to express our deep thanks for this moment shared with everyone who was willing to be with this in this webinar, allowing the definitions and sharing of this roadmap that will lead us to spiritual growth. I invite everyone to close our eyes for the final prayer. Lord, we want to thank you once again for this privilege and opportunity you give us, for the sharing and for the insight of knowledge that will make us a better human beings to aspire for your kingdom, which is eternity. Thank you for this grace. Thank you for the organizers of these programs, for the privilege they have done and the grace you give them. May we also play our part to bring a better humanity, make the world a better place for everybody and for us. As we ascend to the spiritual heights, we look forward for your guidance and help. Make we always be in part of progress. This day, we call upon your favor and grace. Let your great goodness and mercy be upon us. So be it. Assalamu alaikum.
So be it.
So be it.
So be it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ibrahim, for your wonderful prayer. So I think that's it from us, but still we have a little bit of time to receive any questions that have been left unanswered. Let's just take a look at the chat real quick and see if there's any question left here to be answered.
There is a question, Agatha, from, let me see here. The question is, does Spiritism, no, that's from Elaine. Yes, there is a question, can they make us do something that we don't want to do? Yes, they can. And sometimes we give ourselves saying, I didn't want to do that. That was something out of me. Yes, it is often the influence of the spirits that makes us sometimes, or they induce us to do something that we don't want to do. When the degree of affinity is so deep, so profound, that our will is almost as the same as the will of the spirit. So they can actually make us do things that we don't want to do, okay?
Okay, I think that was it. Is there anybody that wants to ask something, either about the main topic or further informations about basic notions? This is the time.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yes, Ibrahim.
Yeah, I from the last slide, I think second to the last slide, I think we're talking about influence of imperfect spirits, you know, whether they are meant to test, you know, in the form of testing to check our accent, or I don't know. You know, I think there was a point like that. I think I want to add something. Yes, I don't want to believe that the creator is a perfect God, would allow some spirits to be tempted in form of, you know, temptation, you know, to ascertain whether they are striving aright or not. You know, I think it's all about it's all to do with the free will given to human spirits. You know, the creator has no need to put obstacles in our ways, you know, before we can be pleasing to him. I think it's inherent. It's an inherent ability for the human spirit to strive for the ideal, to strive for consciousness, to strive for eternity. You understand? That is what is inherent in the human spirits. But when obstacles come up, it could be from our shortcomings, so the impure spirits have the responsibility, they bear the responsibility of influencing us to do that which is unpleasing or that which is ungodly. So they bear responsibility for that, and also we also bear responsibility for our action and inaction. So I don't know whether the Almighty will do that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Actually, Ibrahim, you are thinking truly, that's the point. So
Thank you.
when we see the answer of the spirits, we are guided to the idea of really the creator letting the bad spirits, testing us.
Yeah.
So that's not really what the spirits wanted to tell us. That's why when we study the spirits book, we have to study it. Sorry, let me just lower a little bit my sound. Yeah, we have to study it as a sequence, the answers or the questions, they will complement one another. Okay, so you will understand that that question solely by itself has an interpretation. And if you had to that question the following one and the following one or the previous one, you will understand it on a bigger picture. So the bigger picture is exactly what you were saying. So it truly depends on the free will of the spirit itself. So if you are being induced or influenced by bad spirits, that's because you are tuned with those types of frequencies or ideas or thoughts or feelings. Okay, so that's your responsibility. It's not God's responsibility. Okay, it's your responsibility. So if you want to get rid of them, you are the one that you need to work in order to get free. Okay, so yes, very, very, very well tuned. You are on the spot.
Thank you, sir.
Just what is very important for us to remember also that spirits keep on telling us and remember, for us to remember that somehow, because we are in a material world, we think that when we think about something and we actually don't perform the actions, there is no consequence of that. So they ask us to be vigilant regarding our thoughts, because as you explained in your presentation, it's energy that is transformed into a frequency that will connect to the other spirits they think alike like we are. Okay? So our thoughts will attract spirits that think like us. So we must start by being vigilant with what we're thinking. And most of the times we think that, okay, I might have this thought, but because I didn't actually do nothing, then nothing happens. No, we also are responsible for being vigilant with our thoughts. And this is why you mentioned that it's important to study, because once we start to understand that it all begins with what we're thinking, and this is how we begin to attract them, because we tune into the same frequency as they are, because we think alike. Then we start to understand why the change begins in us. It begins in our thoughts, okay? The way we think.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ibrahim, for your question. From our side, I think that's it from now. It has been a pleasure hosting this webinar. We appreciate you being here. You have been a wonderful audience, and we're looking forward to seeing you in our upcoming courses, of course. Also, please feel free to contact us through our channels that have been shared on the chat room throughout this entire webinar. Once again, thank you so much for being with us. Much peace to all.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Agatha. I also would like to add that until the 5th of March, we are going to send you information regarding the start of the basic notions course. Okay, so we want to thank you for your presence here. We want to thank you for your time, and see you on the 5th of March. Okay,
See you
I hope
soon
so.
here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Salam alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam.
Okay, Ibrahim. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Pupa, Pupa. Leave it. Yeah.
Ave, Ave Maria. the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Joshua, thank you. We will contact you, okay? With more informations. We have also shared the link to the YouTube, where you can see the webinar, okay? We are closing the room now.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure to
No,
be
thank you, my friend. Thank you and welcome.
Although I got the information very late, I just checked my mail to see the link. So kindly bear with me.
Okay, okay, Joshua. Okay, guys, so we are closing the room. See you shortly. Bye-bye.